Sarah Donoghue and welcome to another Madder Maxx. And as always, we've got more of that backyard motorsport that's getting really big in the UK. But first, let's have a look and see what's on the show this week. I'm up north in Middlesborough finding out about jet ski racing, and Dougie's at the Oval to meet some of those legends, and he's also interviewing some rebel racers.
The Americans certainly know how to develop exciting new forms of motorsport, and the latest craze to cross the Atlantic are subtly titled The Legends, and they're causing quite a stir from both drivers and spectators alike. Let's find out what Legends racing is all about from driver Des Chandler. Des, you're one of the leading and longest serving exponents of Legends racing in the UK. What is it that attracted you to this formula from your old sport of Formula 1 racing?
Well, basically the time factor really, and the inexpensive, just cheap to race. You don't spend so much time in the workshop, so it's a little better. You've got a bit more of a home life. Now the sport originated in the US. Can you give us something about the history? Yeah, it started 1993. They realised that there's a lot of cars in America that just weren't getting raced because it was too expensive. So they looked at a cheaper formula, and they built 4 cars just as a trial, and it grew from there, and there's now 3,500 in America. In England there's somewhere in the region of about 40 to 45 now, racing on both the circuits and the ovals. I prefer to race on the ovals, it's a bit more closer.
So how do you think they'll perform on this track? Because it is a very fast track.
Brilliant. The cars are absolutely perfect on this track. It's flat out in 3rd gear. You're probably doing about 85 mile an hour past the start-finish line, so they are damn quick. Do you have any particular tactics while you're racing? No, just to win. That's basically what I've got to do. If I've got to go around the outside or up the inside, I don't care. I'll go either. But we can't use the bumper, so not like Formula 1s. Yeah.
Now, could you tell us a bit about the car? Because a lot of people have never seen anything like this before.
No, that's right. I mean, basically they're a space frame chassis with a fiberglass body stretched over the car, and they're powered by a Yamaha 1200cc bike engine and gearbox with a prop shaft to the rear end. The rear end is a Toyota Celica back axle shortened. So as you can imagine, they weigh something like 450 kilograms, but with a Yamaha bike engine in there, 0 to 60 is something like less than 4 seconds. They're fairly quick.
A nice kick up the backside.
Yeah, without a doubt, yeah. I must admit, it was a shock to me when I got in them. I thought they looked a bit Mickey Mouse-ish, but when you actually drive them, they are tremendously quick.
Who are your main rivals turning out today?
Oh, Derek Hales, definitely. Yeah, he is normally 100%. But his son, Ian, who hasn't done any racing really before, other than legend cars, he won the final down to Arena Essex last week, and he was damned hard to catch. He's really going well.
The only way to progress in Legends is to watch for gaps in the traffic and take advantage of other drivers' mistakes. Let's meet Derek Hales, who was first past the checkered flag that time. Derek, you just took the number 8 Legend to its first win today. How did it go for you?
Fairly well. I had a middle of the grid draw and just watched the gaps in the traffic and took advantage of one or two of the others' mistakes and hit the front, and really that was a bit of a cruise after that. But it was hard work the first 4 laps. The next race will be harder and the final will be even harder, but they're good fun to drive, and they're quite exciting. You get on a tighter, we race on a lot of tracks that are tighter than this, and then that's really, really hard work to pass. You can follow a guy for 15 laps and not make any impression at all.
Does the bank in here hence would make it easier for you to drive?
The bank, and if you set your car to suit the bank and dive into the bank and load your springs up on the outside, dive into the bank and get plenty of bite, the car will come out with no understeer, all the grips on the back wheels to where you want it.
The Americans have never been the subtlest of nations. Think of Las Vegas and some of those 70s Cadillacs and you'll see what I mean. But when it comes to the Legends, their name is justified. The racing is close, the driver's very skillful and the car's fast. What more could you want? If there's one car in the history of British motoring that's looked upon as a joke, it's the Reliant three-wheeler. But one of the things that always interested me is what happens to all those old Reliants when they're finished with them on the road. Well, now I'll tell you. They take the engines out and they stick them in these and they race them. And do they have fun or what? Right, Anthony, how did you get involved with the Rebels?
Well, I've been sort of following sort of Briscoe Formula 1s and that for the last sort of 20 odd years.
Now Rebels are getting more and more popular. Is it making more and more difficult for you as an established driver with all these new guys coming in?
This year, this is the first season actually we've done it on actual grades and that, from gridded grades. And as you said, there's a lot more drivers in that, and because we're at the back, it's getting very hard, especially when there's 30 odd cars on track. It's with the same sort of powered cars and that, you know, it's hard work now.
Right, Anthony, if you can explain to us something about your lovely little car.
Well, it's based on a Ford Pop. It's a 5/8 scale racing car. It's got 850 Robin Reliant engine in it. The back axle and all the gearbox and all that, it's all mainly from a Robin Reliant three-wheeler. They just put it all into a little roll cage car, like with bumpers and outriggers and that. And you just go out there and hit each other with them, like, you know, just to race like.
One of the other things that's unique about Rebels is the fact that they're administered by basically two people who provide everything from the fuel at race meeting to the spares. Is that one of the attractions of why you got into the sport, that it's so strictly controlled?
Hans, who does run the sport, he actually puts like a print on it that you can't touch the engine, so every driver who's out there is on the identical power, providing the engines up to scratch, like, and so it stops people from coming into the sport. To the ones with the money, like, can't come into the sport and take over, but winning everything, you just do it on your skill, basically. I've even had times that they've taken the fuel out, because you're not allowed to put your own fuel in, because they say to you, like, you know, when they come to me, if you've got a full tank, they have got the right to drain the fuel tank, in case people might be putting additives or things like that in them.
And the controls in them are fairly basic as well, from what we can see. Got a red plate on the top of your car, and you've got some flashing lights, which denotes you are one of the top men, so he's obviously keeping an eye on you.
yeah, I mean, this year's gone well. I mean, I've had a few wins, I've won a few track championships this year already, and hoping to win one today, but yeah, it's going very well at the moment, yeah.
Well, we'll let you get ready for the one today, and we'll come and have a chat with you later on,
right.
So thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, thank you.
Well, this is the race we've been focusing on with Anthony today. Anthony's right down there on pole position, so let's see how he gets on. This will be Rebel racing at its very best. It looked very difficult. I thought you had it up in the bag, but you got knocked back to third at one point.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's as quick as each other, and as I said, I just couldn't get on the back of them. I thought, well, if I sit in third, I'll be quite happy with that. And then Greg Jenkins went at number 7. He spun. I thought, oh, at least I got a second. And on the last lap, I mean, I couldn't even try. I tried to hit him on the last bend, the last lap. I just couldn't get on him. I thought, well, if I keep it tight, you never know. And he drifted a little bit wide, and I managed to get the inside and sneak it on the line. Like, it was quite good.
Usually when we close these pieces about different formula, we try and be a bit objective, but in this case it's very difficult. I love the Rebels. Fantastic formula, fantastic people, and you can't say fairer than that.
Now, no doubt, if you go on a holiday, you're going to take time out to have a go on a jet ski. And as you know, if it's got an engine, there's somebody somewhere who's going to have a go at racing it. Now, Jamie, you're a bit of a star at the old jet ski racing. What have you won so far?
We're winning the British Championship at the minute in England. We got 2nd last year, 5th in Europe and 12th in the world.
Not bad. So how did it all start for you? Where did it come from?
It started when I was 10 years old. I started hurting myself too much on motorbikes. I used to do motorcycle trials. And, I just decided to, get into something new. And we just went and hired them somewhere and it's just taken off from there.
So whereabouts is it going to go from here?
I'd like to think fully professionally, just racing all the time. That'd be my main aim. I'd also like to go to America as well.
Whereabouts do you race, obviously apart from this country and over in Ireland?
This year there's the European Championships gone Geneva, Germany, Portugal.
Oh, you do get about a bit.
So yeah, so we're all over. I try and pace myself in the races basically, in every race. Try and get out in the lead and get a big lead, and then ease back a bit. Just try and save some energy for as it keeps going on.
So with most motorsports, if you come within the sort of top 3, they always strip your engines. I mean, is that what they do here as well?
Because of the way that we've been going today, the scrutineers have already said they want it stripping. Just because of the first race.
Put it back again.
Oh yeah.
They always do that.
Yeah, that's the one.
Jamie, thanks very much.
That's not a problem, Sarah.
Thank you. Now with me is former British club champion Paul Calvert. Now Paul, why do you not race anymore?
The expense. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but we're going to make it cheap this time around. Shoestring budget.
Is it sort of getting more expensive over the years?
It has. It's the speed of the machines. They don't really last very long when you tune into high tolerances, and they just don't seem to last. So you're going through a lot of parts.
Now, if somebody actually wanted to get into the sport, what sort of cost are we looking at?
We probably is looking at around about, for a full year, £10,000. £10,000, which is not the average guy spending money, is it? A lot of these guys that are racing today probably 3 or 4 years playing before they can get to championship level. But if you really put your heart into it, then maybe it's 2 years. 2 years you can get there. You can get somewhere about.
Now, when you were racing, what did you get out of it? What did you really love the most?
Adrenaline. It's the ultimate grown-up's toy. It really is. It really is the adrenaline. You want to win. You want to win.
How difficult is it to ride to this standard?
Very. These lads make it look easy, but it is quite difficult, especially the skis. You've got no idea how difficult that balance is on them skis.
I won the both limited and super stock runabout titles in the expert category, and went over to Havasu in America for the World Finals. Not such a good time then. We flew a piston up in the practice and had to strip the engine down, rebuild it and get back on the start line in 2 hours.
What's it been like this season? I mean, what have been your major achievements so far in the racing?
Completing one race, I think, is a major achievement.
Oh, have you been having loads of engine problems?
Yeah, the recent rule changes have taken us from leaded fuels to unleaded fuels, and unfortunately getting the balance for the engine's not quite there, and we've had a few problems. We were rebuilding this at 10 o'clock last night, so like everyone else.
It's a shame, but we've we've come to that part of the show where we've got to say goodbye, but only for 7 days, because we will be back next week with more crazy action. Dougie will be down on the farm having a look at tractor pulling. He'll also be having a look at mini moto racing, and I'll be interviewing a powerboat racer. See you next week.